What is up, guys? We are back here with episode 2 of my road to master, trying to climb the rank ladder of Lorcana's Pixelborn Connect. And with this first match today, I am facing Iago. Shouts to him. He is also another content creator. Huge shouts to Iago. I'm going to put the link to his channel in the description of this video. He is playing what is he playing? An Amber Steel deck. And he asked me in the beginning of the video, he was like, hey, by the way, I'm going to be recording this for my YouTube channel. And I actually wasn't planning on recording. I was just going to play a chill game. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to record too if you're going to record. So I started recording here. So that's why you don't see the intro of this video. And sorry, guys, he went ahead and started here. Let me just commentary on what he just did. So he inked a card and he played a Pluto, a 1-cost Pluto there with his turn. And he passed it back over to me. So this was a really fun match. Huge shots to Iago. We had a lot of fun playing this and talking over this game. So I ink a Tafita Mutant Fudge there, and I exert her to play an Olaf the Friendly Snowman, and I pass my turn back to my opponent. My opponent draws for turn, and then he plays a Gaston using Pluto, right? If you exert Pluto, you can reduce the cost of the next character you play by 1, and then 1 ink or he used 2 ink there. I think he just did in the wrong order, but he inks the Rapunzel, spends a 2, and spends Pluto to play Gaston for 3. And he's getting a huge ramp there through Amber. Even though he doesn't have much ink, he's able to get a 3-cost character out. And Gaston has a similar effect to Pluto, where he can exert 2 or exert himself to pay 2 less for the next character he plays, which is really bad for me. So I'm getting pretty scared here because he can play a pretty big character if he exerts Pluto and Gaston and uses, he'll have 3 ink next turn. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can play a 6-drop character next turn if you wanted to. So right now I'm trying to decide what I should do. I can't take out the Pluto because the Pluto has 2 willpower and my Olaf only has 1 strength. So even if I challenge into the Pluto, I'm not able to take it out. I think I'm pretty hesitant about that. So I ink a Brawl. Olaf is going to quest for 1, probably because I can't take out the Pluto, so I'm like, whatevs. And I spend 2 so I can play a Donald Duck. Yeah, Donald Duck can take out the Pluto with 1 swoop with his 2 strength. So maybe I'm planning to do that next turn. And then I pass it over to my opponent. Yeah, this is looking pretty bad for me. My opponent, I'm not sure if it is a hyper aggro deck. He told me that he loves homebrewing all of his decks. So this is a very unique deck that he made. And it's not a meta deck, so I don't really know how to play against it. He inks a Pete, the referee Pete there. And then he's going to play a huge, so Gaston reduced the cost by 2 and plus 3, so he can play a 5-drop character. So he plays Pyros there. And Pyros is pretty scary right now because it's only turn 3. And he has a really big 5-cost, 5/4 body out. And he also exerts Pluto to play a 1-drop for free, or to reduce the cost of the next 1 character by 1. So Daisy's free to play. And he gets a Daisy Duck, the classic Shimmering Sky set 5 new hyper aggro Daisy Duck there. So he has a ton of characters on the board here. He has 2 cards in hand. I think I have like 5 or 6 because he really just won the few there. And I think he passed it. Yeah, he passed it back over to me. And I think I already drew for turn. So yeah, this game is really rough because I have to decide how I'm going to control his board. And I am a hyper control deck right here. But my opponent, he is, I think we're actually just chatting about other stuff right now. He's talking about his YouTube channel and how he has another screen to show his hand to his the viewers, to his audience, right? So I don't have that, guys. So sorry, you don't know how many cards are in my hand, and even I don't know rewatching this because you can't see from the video. But my opponent has a thing to where you can see his hand. But yeah, so I'm facing a hyper aggro deck, kind of ish, right? He does start to do that strategy in a little bit where he starts to quest for a lot. And I don't know if he pivoted to that strategy, but it's difficult for me to control because it's a 5-drop Pyros out there. So I ink a card and I spend 3 to play a Merlin Crab, which can increase attack of one of my characters by 3. So I give Olaf plus 3. He swings for 4, takes out the Gaston, takes 2 damage, lives. Donald takes out the Pluto, takes no damage, and then lives. And this is actually a bad situation for me because Pyros, after he banishes a character in challenge, he can ready up any character. And that is really bad for me. So he inks a Mickey, spends 2 to play another Mickey. And whenever he plays him, he can give another character challenger plus 2. I think he gives it to Daisy. Yeah, so Daisy has 3 attack for his turn. Pyros takes out the Olaf. After banishing a character, it can ready itself, takes out the Donald. Wait, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't yet here. What just happened? Oh, he redoes it. So he quests with Daisy first. Daisy's trigger. I look at the top card of my deck. If it's a character added to my hand, so I get the Elsa. Then he does the Pyros thing. Takes out the Donald there. Um, what happened? No, no, no. Yeah, okay. So he just sorry guys, I'm getting all mixed up there. So Pyros takes out character, res himself. Daisy quests, and then Pyro takes out the Donald here as well. So that is pretty rough. I should have considered that more before I left some of my characters exposed for Pyros to take out. But yeah, I really want to take out the Pluto and the Gaston because I was just super scared of him having such a big board. But that's definitely not the right play. I should have just kept all my characters readied up. Maybe not play the crab yet until after Pyros is already exerted, because giving the Pyros 2 activations there to attack twice was really bad for me. So Inkay Donald Duck Pie Slinger there. And then so in this game, sorry guys, we get sidetracked so much. We're talking about like random things. I think he's talking about his dice right now. And I'm probably talking about some other YouTube stuff. So we're just going all over the place here. But yeah, this is a really bad board for me because he has a 4 lore already. Pyros is a huge body. Daisy quests 2 every single turn and has a Mickey right now. So I am not feeling the best. I spend 3. I play my library. And looking back, that's not a good call, right? Um, maybe I couldn't do anything else, so I spend 1 to move the crab to the library. And after the crab challenges Pyros takes it out, I can draw a card because I have a character that was banished at the library. So actually, okay, that's not terrible. He plays a Tragic Beast here. So my library has 8 health, and he can swing into it. But does he just, I think he just quests here. So he quests for 3, Daisy Trigger. I have a Brawl, so it does not go to my hand, goes to the bottom of my deck if it's not a character card with a Daisy's effect. And he passed to me. So that Tragic Hero Beast there is really rough for me. I gain 1 pass over the library. And with the Beast's effect, at the start of his turn, if he has no damage, he can draw a card every single turn. So he's going to draw for that and draw for turn. So effectively drawing 2 cards every single turn. And I don't have any way to take it out right now because I'm only on 4 ink. So even if I ink 1 more, I don't have anything in my deck that can take out that Tragic Beast. And if he has damage on him, he gains +3 or Challenger +3. So right now I'm trying to. I think he's explaining to me how Beast works. This is my. I think is this my first time facing a Beast? I'm not sure. This could be my first time facing a Beast, and it's 3/5. But I mean, it quests for 2, and it's gonna draw him an extra card every single turn. So I spend 3 ink there, and I play an Elsa Snow Queen. And I think he asked me what the Elsa does. Yeah, so I just explained if I exert the Elsa, I can exert one of his characters. Doesn't do anything right now because her ink is drying, so she can't use that effect. And then do I just move to location? I got an ink, right? Yeah, so I ink a Madam Mim Snake. I spend 1 to move Elsa there. And then I pass. All right, so back to my opponent. And he draws 2 cards. I think he ran out of cards in hand, but he drew 2. And he drew a Tragic Beast there. So he inks a Smee, plays another Beast now. So he can draw 3 cards every single turn now, unless I get rid of the Beast. But they're so strong, with so much willpower, I can't even get rid of them. And he quests with Daisy and with the Mickey. I do Daisy Trigger. I get Elsa character add to my hand. And I think he keeps the Beast non-questing there. Yeah, I'm not sure why he did that. But he's at the 10 lore, and he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more on the table, so he can get up to 17. All right, so it's back to my turn, and I can't really see a way out of this right now. Yeah, I don't even know. Okay, never mind. I think I remember what I did here, and I don't know. This is a pretty. This might be like the only way out of the situation. Yeah, this was really rough. So yeah, Be Prepared is turn 7. I don't know if I even have the Be Prepared in my hand right here, but I'm trying to contemplate what to do. We're probably talking about something else again here as well. Um, yeah, I checked out Iago's YouTube channel, and I'm a subscriber of his channel. So I'm excited to see this video from his point of view, where we're actually talking about the game. Because from my side, I don't necessarily have the audio. Yeah, so I ink 1, and now I shift 6, spend 6 ink to shift Elsa. Elsa can deep freeze, so I can exert the 2 chosen characters, and they cannot ready. So I exert both the beasts, and I swing for 4 with Elsa to take out that Daisy, that quest for 2. So now he can just quest 1 with Mickey, and then I pass my turn, so it's back to him, and the beast can't quest, but he draws 3 cards there. So he basically gets to replenish his entire hand, which is brutal for me. And I don't know what he's gonna do. So The beasts are exerted. They can't ready back up until the start of his next turn. He has a Mickey that can quest here, though. And then I think he's thinking about what to do, or just talking about some random stuff. He may have asked for how many cards I have in hand. I have 4 cards in hand, looks like. Yeah. So he has 3 in hand. I think he's showing with his dice. Yeah, he's drew 3 cards with the beasts. Yeah, and the beasts are killing me right now. It's drawing him so many cards per turn, and I can barely catch up with managing with them. So he inks a Pyros, and then he plays Rapunzel, and he plays a Pete. So just a bunch of bodies on the board, and with Pete in play, I cannot play action until the start of my next turn, which is really terrible. The Mickey quest for 1, so he goes up to 11. All right, it's back to my turn. I ready up. I get 1 passive lore with the library. And then I draw for turn. All right, I don't know what the plan is here. I have 6 ink. I have an Elsa. The beasts are going to go crazy. I cannot take out the beasts because my Elsa only has 4 strength. I spend 5 here. Do I have a Maui? Okay, awesome. I got a Maui there. So Maui has Rush. He can take out a beast by himself. So I knock out one of the beasts there and I take 3 damage. So only 1 beast left to go, guys. We are climbing up. And then I think I probably just ink something else here. And then maybe Elsa takes out the Mickey, I guess. But then she's exposed to getting knocked out by his other characters. But I do have her at the library. So if she gets knocked out, I can at least draw a card. And yeah, the Rapunzel was really brutal because I didn't understand Rapunzel's stats. She's 4 drop, 1/5 in quest for 2. That is really rough. And I think I'm just either talking about something or I'm thinking about what to do. So check my discard pile. Not much in there. And yeah, this is a really rough situation. So I exert the Elsa and I take out that Mickey. I take another damage. Yeah, Elsa's knocked out here. That's okay with me. Because I'm thinking that he's trying to quest anyway. So if he challenges the Elsa, that's a little bit less lore for him at least. And I can gain a card draw with the library. I ink a Elsa 5th Spirit. So I'm up to 7 now. So I could be prepared if I have it. I'm not sure if I have it here. And I think he's talking about, oh, you have 7 ink, so you can be prepared. The Pete is going to take out my Maui by challenging it. And he quests with the Beast and Rapunzel. He keeps Elsa around. So against 4 more, Lord goes up to 15. And he drew 2 there at the beginning of the turn because of the Beast being in play. So he's 2 cards in hand. Plays a Gaston. Hope he doesn't play another character here for 3. And then he passes. So he holds 1 card in his hand here. And I think it's because he's worried about the be prepared. Because if I be prepared here, then yeah, he's going to lose all his characters. I think I did not have a be prepared though. So what is the play here for me? I'm up to 7 ink. And yeah, I mean, so Rapunzel quest for 2, Beast quest for 2, Gaston quest for 1. He has the game on the table here. And with my Elsa, I mean, I can't take out the Rapunzel. She has 5. Oh yeah, this was a huge mistake that I made here. So I kept on thinking that Rapunzel had 4 willpower because it's a little bit hard to see with the quality here. So I thought in my calculations I could take Rapunzel out with one attack from Elsa, but I couldn't. And yeah, you guys will see I made a huge miscalculation there because I just thought that I could take her out. But yeah, I mean the 5 willpower on a 4 drop with such an amazing effect, right? When you play Rapunzel, you can remove up to 2 damage from a chosen character. You can draw a card, or up to 3 damage, I mean, and you can draw a card for each damage removed, which is insane. In addition to her 1/5 and quest for 2. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm taking super long here. I don't know if we're talking about something or if I just can't decide what to do. And I do feel like this turn is pretty pivotal to the game. I keep looking at my ink. Oh yeah, I remember what he says here. I think he says to me, you have 7 ink, and then I think I for sure I ink here. Yeah, I'm trying to decide what I have in my hand. I think I have Madame Medusa, so I could play her, but it doesn't do too much right now, right? Because it just takes out the beast, which will prevent card draw, but then I can't take out any of the other characters, so he's questing for 3 if I do that. So I ink a library, and then now I have 8 ink. I remember my opponent tells me, Iago says, "Man, you have 8 ink. It would be funny if you play another Elsa there, the Spirit of Winter and exert my characters. And I'm like, oh man, well he just said it, so whatever. So I'm gonna spend my 8 ink. And I'm gonna play the Elsa here. And the reason I went for the Elsa, the second Elsa, and this time I didn't shift her, um, instead of the Madame Medusa, is because I can keep his characters exerted. So I exert the Gaston and the Beast there. So Beast at least can't ready. And then my Elsa could take out the Gaston, and I think I just do that. Um, no, I swing for the Beast, so he stops drawing, right? Yeah, so I take some damage, and then the Beast now has damage, so he has Challenger 3. And then, oh man, but he's ready back up here. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, so I deep freeze the Gaston and the Rapunzel so he doesn't quest. And then I kept the Beast not deep frozen with the Elsa. But now he won't draw a card, so he just draws one card. He has 2 cards in hand now, in addition to the card that he had from last turn. And the Beast could just quest here, or could take out my Elsa. It's Challenger 3, so the Beast can now swing for 6, but then the Beast will get knocked out. So I think I want him to take out that exerted Elsa there. What does he do though? Does he quest? Oh, he just quests. Okay, so he goes for 17. Oh man, he drew another Beast. So he plays the third Beast this game, and then I think he passes here. Yeah, so it's up to 17 lore. This is looking really, really dire for me. I draw for turn, and I think here, I mean, I gotta play Medusa, right, to get rid of that fresh Beast. But it's tough because if I get rid of that Beast, I can attack, challenge the other Beast, and I can challenge Gaston. So if I have Medusa here, I feel like I'm pretty good actually. So now I'm kind of thinking that maybe I don't have Medusa in hand. Yeah, I have 8 ink, so I should be able to do pretty good here. Yeah, because Elsa can challenge into the Exerted Beast, and then they take each other out. Elsa can draw me a card with the library, and my other Elsa can take out the Gaston. And then if I play Medusa, I take out the Beast, and he's at 17. So he quests for 2 with Rapunzel and goes up to 19. And I should be fine with that. I'm not sure if he has a way to gain a lore like on play. And I think that's what I'm scared about, right? Because I mean, I know he's not playing Amethyst, but a lot of different inks, like especially Amethyst, if you play like a goat, you just gain a lore when you enter play. When you play like Gathering Knowledge and Wisdom, you can just gain 2 lore. So I quest with Elsa there, and I spend 3 to play a Fox. Oh, I bounced the Elsa back. I think I do not have Medusa here, which is why I did that. Because for sure, if I had Medusa, the best place to get rid of that unexerted, undamaged beast. So yeah, so I quest for 3, play Fox, bounce Elsa back so I can play her back down again. Fox takes out the Gaston, and then Elsa, that one takes out the Beast, I'm guessing. Um, oh man, here's another thing that I kept messing up too. So, oh yeah, he let me take that play back because I wasn't sure. So basically, the Beast there, I thought it gets +3 attack if it's damaged. It gets Challenger 3, which means he only has +3 attack during his turn, not during my turn. So my Elsa challenges the Beast right now. She'll actually take 3 damage and live. But I thought that the Beast has 6 attack, so my Elsa would get knocked out. So I think that was my huge fear there. So I ink. So now I have 6 ready up ink, and then I played the Elsa on top of the other Elsa and I just shift her so I can exert 2 characters. And I do the other Beast and the Rapunzel. So now they can't ready, and he can't quest with either of those characters. And I think he ends up telling me, "Hey, I feel like you're miscalculating here. The middle Beast, he only has 3 attack because he only has Challenger 3 if he's damaged, not just a Pierce 3 attack." So when he tells me that, I'm like, "Oh my goodness, okay." And I think this is also when I was thinking about I could take out the Rapunzel, but then I found out she has 5 willpower as well. But I can't just take out the Beast. I'm pretty sure I just take out the Beast here. That's probably going to be the best play. Yeah, so I just take it out. And I think I'm about to discard my Elsa here, actually. Yeah. And he's like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? You don't have to discard it because, like, she lives. And I was like, oh, man. And we're just talking about how I didn't understand. Yeah, there's a lot of cards here that I didn't really play against, guys. And, you know, me being a noob at Lorcana, I didn't really understand that the Beast would not take me out. Yeah, so I take out the Beast and I take 3 damage. Elsa lives, which is huge. So I probably shouldn't have even quested with the other Elsa, because then I could have put damage on that Beast, the other Beast, so he doesn't draw 2 here. So he draws 2 more cards, goes up to 3, yeah. And that would have been the best play. But because I thought the Beast had 6 attack, yeah, I messed up there. So he plays a Tinkerbell, does 1 damage to all my characters, knocks out the Fox, which is really bad. And I have 2 cards in hand, and it does another damage to Elsa. And then does he just pass to me? Yeah, he passed it back to me, so I ready up. Okay. So, oh man, I don't know what I do here. I'm up to 8 ink. No, I have 9, but I forgot to update my ink. So I have 9 ink here. So I have a lot of ink to play with, but my opponent's really close to winning. They're at 17 lore, then get up to 19. So I update my ink there, and I'm not sure what I can do. Yeah, the Rapunzel having 5 willpower, that's brutal because else I could just take her out, but the 5 willpower means that I can't. So I spend 2, play a Donald Duck. I remember what I'm planning on doing here. I do 4 to shift the Donald Duck immediately into a Pie Slinger. And if I use shift to play him, each opponent loses 2 lore. So I drop my opponent's lore down at 15. I think that gives me the breathing room to live another turn here. Because I can take out one of the characters, then they cannot win this turn. But how do I take out one of their characters? I have no clue what else I have in hand. And I think I was contemplating what I should do here. I spend 3 to play a Brawl. Okay, so I take out the Rapunzel with the Brawl. I can banish a character with 2 attack or less, which gets rid of the Rapunzel. Yeah, and then I pass her because Dawn can't do anything. Elsa can attack. Do I challenge into the Beast? No, I quest for 3. Yeah, because if I challenge into Beast, I get knocked out. So he can draw an extra card here. Maybe I should have went for the Beast there. I'm not sure, guys. Probably, I don't know. I don't know if Quest was a good play. I see my lore getting a little bit high, so I'm trying to go for it. And I have 0 cards in hand now. So I did, yeah, so I did not have a Medusa then because I just played my entire hand and there was no Medusa there. So I just misspoke. Yeah, a Medusa would go wild right here because I just take out the Beast. And he swarms the field, Pyro and Mickey. Um, Mickey gives someone Challenger, but it doesn't matter because the Tinkerbell has enough damage to take out my Elsa. So Tinkerbell swings, takes out the Elsa here. And then I'm sure the Beast quest, right? Beast quest for 2, yeah. So one cool thing here is that Donald Duck with his other effect, a Raging Duck, if my opponent has 10 or more lore, he gets +6 attack. Oh, and I top deck. Yeah, I show my opponent what I draw because I was like, I can't win it unless I get Be Prepared. And I top deck the Be Prepared. So I don't play it yet. He just knows I have it. So I spend 1 ink to move Donald to the library and have Donald quest for 1 because there's no point attacking anymore because I have to Be Prepared. So I quest for 1, go up to 14, get my pass over the library that I forgot. I moved on to the library, and then I spend 7, hard cast Be Prepared, banish all characters in play, gets rid of all of his characters, and I can draw 1 because a character I had was banished in the library. And I luckily drew Olaf that I spent 1 ink to play down here. And it's my opponent's turn. He draws, yeah, he has a Mickey and a Piglet, and he plays them both right here. So, oh, I remember what happens here. This is the pivotal turn. So I top deck, yeah, I'm just showing her everything I draw here because if I don't get a good top deck, I lose. I top deck a Mount Medusa. So I spend 6 to play her. And right now I'm trying to decide who do I banish. The Mickey quest for 2. Piglet can quest for 3 if he has 2 characters in play with Piglet's effect. So I'm trying to decide here. I can banish either one of them because Medusa can banish any character with 3 attack or less. And I end up going with the Mickey because Piglet just quests for 1 here. He goes up to 18 if everything goes well. And I quest with the Olaf. I spend 2 ink to move both characters to my location. And this is a pretty pivotal turn. And I'm pretty close to turning around actually. But my opponent top decks Perdita, and he told me this is the 1 card that can help him win right here. And I didn't know the effect, so he was explaining it to me. Whenever you play Perdita, you can play a character with a cost 2 or less from discard pile for free. So he had just enough ink to play her, and then he gets any character, puts it in for free. Piglet's effect is if he has 2 or more characters, he gets +2 lore. So Piglet quests for 3, and my opponent takes the win here. And yeah, that was a super duper gruesome game. And I apologize for the poor commentary there, guys. I wasn't sure what was happening. I think things were just happening a little bit too quick for me to understand. But yeah, I mean, I think right now we're just having a lot of fun. We're talking about our game, and we're both wondering what would have happened if I banished the Piglet instead of that Mickey. So we're just kind of redoing the play here, I guess. And then he's gonna keep the Mickey in play instead of that. So whenever that happens, he would have the Mickey challenge into my Olaf, take it out. I draw a card with the library, and I draw for turn. So we're just kind of just projecting, seeing what will happen. And then, so I got a Fox from my hand, and I drew an Elsa. So I would have Medusa swing. No, I quest for 1 with her. And then I played a Fox to bounce her back. Right, okay, and I have to use my ink. So Fox has to rush. I challenge into the Mickey. I draw a card, and I drew Olaf. Yeah, I need to do that anyways, yeah. because I need to see what else I could draw because I need something like, I don't know, maybe a beer pair or something like that. I think I didn't have enough ink for it though. No, I did. If I played the Fox for 3, yeah. If I top deck into a beer paired, I may have lived there. Yeah, so I inked the Olaf 7 ink, and then I spent 6 for a Medusa. I think I'm taking too much ink there. But yeah, no, I think I spent 1 to move to the library. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so I didn't have the ink for a beer pair anyways. And then the Medusa can take out the Perdita. But yeah, I mean, it's still not enough. So that's GG right there. And even if I took out the Mickey, he still had to win because Perdita gives him another character. And there's just no way for me to get rid of the obvious characters. Yeah. And then I think we talked a little bit about what would happen. I think we actually, I remember we actually talked for like 5 more minutes, but I edited this out and I just cut out all that because you guys can't hear what we're talking about anyways. So here we go. We're on to the next game here where I'm facing a Ruby Sapphire, and I'm using my Elsa Frozen Control deck once again. And yeah, we're both playing slower decks here. So I was a little bit more excited to see what I could do if I could have more breathing room. So I'm very hopeful for this matchup right here. Very hopeful to possibly get a win. Yeah, and I mean recently, the last game was the first game of a few that I actually recorded, but the last was I actually been on quite a losing streak here. So every game that I record, I'm gonna post on YouTube. But sometimes I feel lazy about recording. I don't record all my games. So let's see. Yeah, so we're just doing our mulligans, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that last game. That was a nail biter right there. We got really late, and he was telling me he should have taken out my library because that library got me so much lore throughout the course of the game, and I was really close to 20, but didn't have quite enough to make it there. Yeah, huge shout outs to Professor Dan here, who also allowed me to record and put this game on my YouTube channel. So let's see. So I ink and Elsa. I'm the first player, and I spend 1 to play the friendly snowman Olaf. That's my favorite opener with this deck. Just getting a 1-drop out. He inks a Maleficent Dragon, and then he passes there. Okay, so it's back over to me. He doesn't have any 1-drops on his hand. So I ink a Brawl, and then I spend 2, and I play a Donald Duck Boisterous Foul. Yeah, I love playing that guy on turn 2. Olaf quest for 1 because my opponent doesn't have any characters, so I'm not scared of Olaf getting taken out. So I'm just freely quest here. And he inks 1, and he passes. Oh yeah, he was telling me he has really bad luck. He has no cards in hand that he can play. That is a ramp deck though, so I'm sure he'll have stuff to play later on. But right now, his hand is just a dud. So I questable characters because I'm free to quest. So I'm thinking right now I need to really gun lore before my opponent gets their ramp up and it gets more ink to play their more expensive cards. So I ink in Elsa, Fifth Spirit. I play a Fox. I think I just had no more bodies to get down because I would prefer to have 3 characters in play, but I think I had nothing else to play, so I had to just play the Fox. Returns one of my characters at Olaf that I can ink. And then it's back to my opponent. He plays a Popsicle, draws a card. So if I got the Popsicle down there, I think what he would probably love to do is get a Hero or something like that for the next turn. So he inks a card, and then he just passes it back over to me. So I'm kind of just chilling here. I think my opponent just has really bad luck. So I can definitely quest with both characters. I ink that Olaf, and then that return with the Fox, and I spend 4. Oh, I play a Queen's Castle here. Yeah, that's my big way of gaining lore quickly, because my deck is very, very slow with the lore gain. But playing the Queen's Castle means I get 2 passive lore every single turn, and my opponent does not have much board presence right now. He spends 3 ink, plays a Fishbone Quill. He can exert it and put a card from his hand into his inkwell face down. So I think he just does that, so he doesn't show me what he inks. So I gained 2 passive lore with the Queen's Castle. I'm sure I quest here for 2. So I go up to 9 here, and it's only turn 4. So now my deck is kind of weird because I'm playing like a more aggro deck, and my deck has almost no ways to gain lore other than with the locations. So I ink in Medallion Woods. I don't think I'll need this game because I feel like I'm just trying to gun lore. Spend 2 to move all my characters to Queen's Castle. Spend 3 to play a library. Yeah, so I'm really just trying to get that passive lore gain right now. Quest for 2 with both my characters. And then I think I passed to my opponent. Yeah, so right now I'm just, I have 2 cards in hand, but I moved them to the Queen's Castle so I can draw a card at the start of turn for each character at the Queen's Castle. So hopefully I can draw 3 if my characters stay alive. So let's see what my opponent does. He inks with the Fishbone Quill, so he does not have to show me what he's inking if he uses the Fishbone Quill for that. And then I think he's thinking about what to do. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think my opponent just had terrible luck here. It's going to be really tough for him to catch back up. He plays a Maui for 5 ink and takes out the Fox, and the Maui will take 4 damage back. Yeah, I think that's all he can do because that's all the ink that's exhausted for him. So then I ready up. I gain my 3 passive lore now with the 2 locations, and I draw 2 cards, one for the Queen's Castle Donald, and then one for turn. So now I have 4 cards in hand. And I know I still want to try to end this before the beep pair comes out. And oh yeah, the Maui was exerted because the Maui challenged into the Fox. So I spend an ink, move Donald to the library, and Donald challenges Maui, takes it out. But if Donald is banished to the library, I can draw a card with the library's effect. So now I have another card in my hand. And then I have 4 ink to play with. So I spend 2, play another Donald, spend 1. I think I moved Donald to a location, but I can't decide which location to move the Donald to. Looking back, I feel like probably Queen's Castle is a better play. So I can get that passive card draw. I don't know if it's going to be banished here. So yeah, I'm moving to Queen's Castle. That's probably what I would do right now as well. But possibly the library is a better play. I'm not sure. My opponent's on 5 ink here, and they can ramp up to 7, right? Because they can get 2 every single turn with the Fisherman Quill and their manual ink. So I pass it over to my opponent, and I think he already drew for turn there. And he plays a Hero. Yeah, he needs some card draw. So he spends 4, plays a Hero, banishes Popsicle with Hero's effect, and he can draw 2 cards. So he should have something to do now, but just not enough ink to do anything with it. He inks a Brawl. And actually, he didn't use Fishbone should be readied up. He spends the ink to play a Ice Block, and he passes to me. So I'm getting more passive lore. I'm to 15 now. I'm getting really close to the finish line. I draw 2 cards, one for Donald and then 1 for turn. And yeah, I mean, Donald can quest it for 1, and then he has to take out both locations. Yeah, I think this is a steep hill. So I ink a to feed a Mutant Fudge, and I spend 5, I think, to play an Elsa. Fifth Spirit, she can exert the Hiram. I think it doesn't matter. I don't think I'm going to challenge the Hiram right here because I want to just quest. So I spend 1. I move Elsa to the Queen's Castle. And looking here, I think I was just... sorry, guys. I completely misplayed that. I move both characters to the Queen's Castle. Donald quests. Elsa can't quest because her ink is drying. My opponent has 6 ink. They're playing Ruby Sapphire, right? So they have a Beaver pair in their deck. I should have moved my characters to the library because there's a very high chance that they're going to be prepared here, right? And that's kind of like their best shot of getting back into this game. So I think that if I were really thinking this through and trying to be smart about it, I should have moved into the library. So that was a huge misplay that put my characters at the Queen's Castle. But I think I had so much lore and such a big lead, I was just not even really thinking that much clearly anymore. And my opponent was telling me he just had really, really bad cards in his hand. And I was like, man, I'm sorry. That really sucks. And, oh yeah, I remember now in this game too. When this game started, I mulliganed into 2 Be Prepareds. And yeah, so my opponent here, really quick, he quests with the Hiram, banishes the Ice Block to draw 2 cards. And then he plays the Be Prepared here for 7 ink. Banishes all characters in play. So for some reason, I thought he played Whole New World, so I discarded my entire hand, and you see the 2 Be Pairs there that I discarded from my hand. So I have no cards in hand, and I'm like, oh wait, it's a Be Pair. So then I banish out my characters, I gain my 3 passive lore, and I draw for turn. And then for some reason, I just forgot that I discarded my entire hand. I drew into a Mammoth Fox there, so I couldn't play anything, so I just passed. But I had the 2 locations in play, which would gain me 3 passive lore. He plays a Maui, he still can't do anything, and he has like a bunch of uninkable. Yeah, so he has a bunch of uninkable cards in his hand. And I mean, he had a Cusco there. Yeah, but I mean, still wouldn't have done enough. He probably just drew it. But yeah, I don't know why I discarded that. But I was telling him here, and this is the big reason why I am actually going to change this deck here or no longer play this deck. I think for like 3 or 4 games in a row after I mulligan, I drew into 2 Be Prepared in my opening hand. And this is so brutal because I can't play until turn 7. It's uninkable. And if my opponent's playing Emerald, they can discard songs from my hand through a bunch of different cards. So I was complaining about that, and I think I was telling him here, man, when I got in Be Prepared, I was so upset because it's happened multiple times. It's happening again here. But then when I saw your luck, I felt like, you know what, I'm kind of feeling bad for myself, but that's completely fine because my opponent has way worse luck right now. And yeah, he was like, yeah, I just had nothing all game, like just all uninkable cards. I couldn't really play anything, couldn't really do anything. And I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just what happens sometimes, and it's very unfortunate. I think playing Ruby Sapphire, I think it's a little bit rough because I think if the combos hit out, it can go really, really well. But if my opponent gets, just really bad hands, not the right items, nothing for hero, no heroes, no card draw, they can really break. But yeah, I mean, I think we're just talking about the game here, and yeah, shout out to my opponent. Thank you for playing the game. That was still a lot of fun. I wish he got a little bit of a better hand there, but yeah, just playing against a really bad luck opponent there, and we got the win. So I have a couple other games that I recorded here, and I'm gonna put like some highlights of these games, but I'm not really gonna go through the games right here because I just learned this new thing that if you click X in Pixelborn, you can make the screen like split 50-50. I did not know that. So these games were recorded before these the past two games that you guys just saw, and my screen was super duper small, and I feel like that it just looks really terrible. So I'm not gonna post these games just because I feel like and it just doesn't look that good because the my screen's so small you can't really see my board, and there's actually a way to have a split screen like you guys saw earlier. So but I did want to shout outs, give some shouts to my opponents here, because I did ask them to record and they let me record. So and some of them said that they subscribe to the channel. So if you guys are watching this, I'm sorry that I'm not going to post a full game, but I will post the results here. And this is what my first opponent, he was playing ruby Ruby Amber with the Mufasa deck, and this guy, I mean, his deck is like crazy good. So we're playing here, and then I think what do I do? So I have to take out his Mufasa, right? And Mufasa has effect. So I play Madame Medusa, banish the Mufasa. When Mufasa is banished, you can read the top card of your deck if it's a character you put into play. So he gets Maleficent Dragon from the Mufasa. He banishes one of my Medusas, takes it out because the dragon can just take out a character when it enters play. It's readied up now, so I'm in a really bad situation. And then he spends 5 ink to play another Mufasa, and that's actually his third Mufasa this game. The first one I took out, he got a Surfer Stitch, and then he plays it and he quests with his characters, so it gets up to 13. And it's back to my turn here. And I think this is a pretty funny sequence, which is probably why I picked this as the highlight of this game. Yeah, and this game happened before the other two games because I didn't know about the clicking X on Pixelborn Connect to make your screens look different, like where you see both screens equal sized. So my screen is super duper small here, unfortunately, because I didn't know that. So I ink a card, I have 9 ink. I spend 9 to play my Maleficent Dragon. I banished their Maleficent Dragon, I think, here, whenever I play mine. So I take it out, and then yeah, I thought that was a pretty funny play there. And then my Medusa takes out the Wreck-It Ralph, and then I pass back to my opponent. So now he still has that one Mufasa there. He spends a couple ink. He plays another Mufasa. Oh, is that his fourth Mufasa? Yeah, that's the fourth Mufasa. Because the first one, yeah, that's the fourth Mufasa. Oh my goodness, I didn't know he played all four this game. So I have my dragon take out his Mufasa, and he's like, "Oh, your dragon doesn't die; it only takes 3 damage." So dragon's still alive. Mufasa triggers. Top card is another Maleficent Dragon, and it. So my Maleficent Dragon killed his. Then his killed mine again with Mufasa's trigger, and I was like, "Holy cow!" And my opponent was saying, "Sorry, man, I just have really good luck right now." And I feel like that's always what happens on Pixelborn Connect. Whenever I have good luck, I'm like apologizing to my opponent, and each time my opponents have good luck, they're apologizing to me, and I'm like, "No, man, it's okay. You don't need to apologize. Like that's just the game." He plays a Medusa, takes out my Donald, and he quests for 4, so he gets a 19 there. And yeah, there's nothing I can do here. Getting out the huge Maleficent Dragons, I just can't do anything. I top deck an Olaf and I play it, and then I pass. So my opponent raises up, and then they just question for the win. So GG, thank you for the game, man. Thank you for allowing me to record this game, and I thought that was a really, really cool highlight. So yeah, if you see this, that was awesome, man. That's crazy that you got the 2 Maleficent Dragons and 4 Mufasas. I thought he only played 3 that game, but yeah, I took out 3 then, and there's still 1 left that I did not take out. Yeah, so he got a Surfer Stitch dragon and another dragon with the 3 Mufasas that I took out, and then 1 more Mufasa that I couldn't even take out because he was able to get the win there. Yeah, and then this is the next game. So I'm playing a Ruby Amethyst, and I thought that this was an interesting game as well. So I'm also Ruby Amethyst, but I don't play the typical Ruby Amethyst where I'm just hyper control. I don't have goats, I don't have rabbits. I'm not really doing the bounce package. My opponent here plays a Glimmer versus Glimmer, which is a really cool card. They banished one of their characters, their Medusa, to banish mine, so they get rid of my Medusa as well. And I thought that was a really fun mechanic there. And I really find that my deck struggles against other Ruby Amethyst decks. which is another reason. So this is actually going to be the last video here, I think, where I'm playing Ruby Amethyst, playing that Elsa Frozen control deck, because I'm struggling a lot with this deck right now, guys, and I'm taking a lot of L's. Spoiler alert, my opponent wins here, right? They have 18 lore to my 4, and they are able to nab the victory here, and I wasn't even close to winning. And I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do here, but I definitely want to change my deck, and I think that, for episode 3, for my next games, I'm gonna have to change my deck around. I'm gonna have to probably play different ink colors, because I don't like the regular like Ruby Amethyst with like Flint Rider and the Sisu and stuff like that. I prefer to play something a little bit different, especially with a bunch of Elsas, just because that's one of my favorite movies. Um, but yeah, so my opponent wins here, and yeah, I struggled a lot against Ruby Amethyst. I think all the Ruby Amethyst decks, except for maybe like one or two, I took L's on. So yeah, my opponent was talking about their Pinocchio. Huge shouts to Akimbo. His Pinocchio tech was really the deciding factor there. Like mid game, he played Pinocchio to exert my characters and just took them all out. So that was really good on him. That's not a card that I usually see in Ruby Amethyst. So it's really cool to see that tech. And yeah, and shout out to you for allowing me to post this game on YouTube as well. But yeah, that was a really fun game. It was very insightful to see how my deck performs against Ruby Amethyst, and this really like put the nail in the coffin for me of just me figuring out that I'm not that good against other Ruby Amethyst decks with my Hyper Control Ruby Amethyst deck. So this is another game here. Shout out to First to 20 who also allowed me to record this game, and he was playing Emerald here, Emerald and Amethyst. And my deck actually does pretty well against Emerald decks here because I try to lose all the cards in my hand, and I have locations in my Medallion Wits to help me get my draw power. So I'm not really discarding that much. And then I shifted an Elsa here, the Spirit of Winter, to exert his 2 characters with the Deep Freeze ability. And then, yeah, this game, so I don't have that many ways to quest, but my opponent, because they're playing Emerald, doesn't have that many ways to take out my location. So I remember here the Queen's Castle just gave me so much passive lore throughout the course of the game, and that's usually the way that I am gaining the most lore is with the locations. So Elsa takes out the Lyle there, and yeah, huge shots to First 22. This was a really fun game as well. And sorry to all these guys that I'm not going to post a full gameplay here. So this is the last game of this video, and the last game that I have recorded that I didn't post yet. And this is against a Steel Amber deck, and my opponent's actually playing Hyper Aggro there. So huge shouts to not Sep Show, maybe like Not Special, for allowing me to record this and post it on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, they're playing pretty hyper aggro there. They have some songs as well, but mainly just super aggro. And they got up to 14 lore. But you guys can see on the bottom there, my board, I got a lot of ink and a lot of characters in play. And I think that this 14 lore was kind of the turn point of the game. And they're questing for a lot. And they had 4 more lore on the table there. But I drew like 4 cards there, you guys can see, because I draw 1 for turn and I drew 3 because I have 3 characters at my Queen's Castle, the Maui, Archimedes, and Olaf. So I get a bunch of cards there. I spend, what is that? Is that 8 ink? No, 6 to shift Elsa. So I can exert 2 of their characters, and then I'm probably just going to take them out here. So the other 14, which is pretty scary for me, but I think that because I have such a big board, I'm able to more control their stuff. And it had like the Daisy Ducks, I think. So I exert the Smee and the Ariel, and then I think my characters are just going to challenge into my opponent's characters. But yeah, this was a lot of fun game as well. I feel like my deck actually performs pretty well against Stew Song. I think usually against Stew Song decks, my deck I think, has won pretty much against every Stew Song that I played. So I'm just kind of figuring out these matchups here, and I'm not sure why they go the way they are. That's something in Lorcana that I don't quite understand. So when Maui takes out their Aerial there, is I don't understand why certain matchups end up being the way they are. I wouldn't necessarily say that my deck should be good against Dusong, but it seems to be really good against Dusong, and it's not good against like Ruby Amethyst I was talking about earlier. Even though I'm also Ruby Amethyst, but I'm like the weaker of the Ruby Amethyst decks. And I play my Tafida Moonfudge, and since I have characters in play, Tafida can make my opponent lose a lore. So they drop down at 13 here, and I quest all the way up to 12. So the situation is kind of like turn around here. I think yeah, that 14 lore was kind of the turning point of this game. I think my opponent is top decking because they're playing Stew Song, and a lot of times Stew Song doesn't have a lot of draw power without the whole new worlds, especially if they're playing in more aggro style. So they shift into their the big queen here, and I think they're thinking about how they can gain the last 7 lore. The queen could quest here for 2 because they shifted, so his ink's already dried. Yeah. So I mean, this deck, I mean, I love this deck a lot. It's been a lot of fun playing it, but I'm not having enough success that I want to have on Pixelborn Connect, and I think this is a true testament of the deck's strength and that it's not that strong because it's not doing that well on Pixelborn Connect. So my opponent hardcast a Grabber Sword. Does 2 damage to all my characters. I need a bunch of dice to put 2 damage on everybody. Takes out the Archimedes. Maui is ticked out because there has damage. Olaf is at the Queen's Castle. I kind of forgot there. He takes 2 damage and lives. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out these matchups here, and I'm not sure why certain matchups are the way that they are. I can't really figure it out actually. I think against Ruby Sapphire, that deck also does really well against my deck. I think decks that have good late game potential usually defeats my deck pretty easily. Like even against Blue Steel also is a really good matchup for them and a bad matchup for me. And I'm not sure why, guys. If you guys understand like the intricacies of Lorcan, definitely let me know down in the comments, like why these matchups are the way they are, and what about like Blue Steel does so well against my hyper control deck. Because I would think that since they're ramping, I can also have time to ramp, and I don't necessarily need time to I don't need to control a hyper aggro deck. But maybe my deck is too focused against hyper aggros, which is why I feel like I perform a little bit better against hyper aggro decks. So I quest there for 2, and then I ink a medallion waits. Yeah, so I'm at the 16 now, and opponent's at 13, so I kind of turned the tide there. I think someone, how did I knock out the queen? I'm not even sure. Oh, I think they sacrificed their queen to take out my Elsa. And I just play a bunch of characters, just swarm the board. Play another Elsa, yeah, just in case they do anything, because they're not playing Ruby, so they don't have to be prepared. So I for sure have. I can just swarm the field and not worry about my characters getting knocked out. Yeah, so I just swarm. I think my opponent just passes here. Um, yeah, my opponent has 7 ink. I have 10. It's not that much of it. Oh, they top deck a Grabber Sword. Okay, so it kills a lot of my characters there. The Mim Snake and the Olaf, because they had the damage from the past Grabber Swords, and then 2 damage to all my remaining characters. I think they just passed here, and that should be game, because I gained 2 lore with the Queen's Castle, and I quest with each character for 1 each, so I can get 5 more lore. Yeah, this is episode 2. Probably the last you'll see of the Frozen Elsa deck, at least for a while, unless I can figure something else out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video if you made it this far, and I'll see you guys in the next video with a different deck.